Hello, my darling. I hope you're good and welcome to episode 3 of the Mpho Maponya podcast. It is my hope and desire that by the end of this episode, you'll be recharged, you'll be enlightened, and you'll be empowered to live your best life. I got another question from the first 2 episodes that we did. And it's starting to feel a little bit like Dear Agony Aunt. If you're old enough to remember this, there used to be a section at the back of the newspaper where, readers would write in and send in their questions, and Agony Aunt would reply to them. So it's starting to give a little bit of that energy, and I'm here for it. Because for me, what it means is that we are co-creating this platform together. It's not my platform, really. I'm not the guru. It is really an exchange of ideas and thoughts, and I'm loving the flow and I'm leading into it. I'm going to let you guide the format and the content of what it is that we share on here. So I'm going to read you the question that I received. It reads from Anonymous. The topic I would like you to discuss is, how do you protect your energy? How do you protect your aura? And also, how does one become more intentional about being positive? So there were more questions from Anonymous, but I think that's a mouthful and enough to carry us for the remainder of this conversation today, and we'll see where Spirit guides us to. So before we start talking about how you protect your aura, it's very important that we understand, or at least unpack, what is the aura. I do find that it's gained a lot of attention. It's almost trending a little bit, which is quite encouraging because it means people are leaning in more into understanding that we are more than just a physical body. I know from my experience on TikTok, when I started making my videos, a lot of people would come and say, "Oh my God, I love your aura. You've got such a beautiful aura this, aura that." And I was like, okay, I like this. Okay, I think I'm home. I think I'm with the right crowd. So just to unpack a little bit, aura is really talking to the energy that you emit as a person. It's talking to your level of vitality or vibration. It is talking to the life force that is within you, right? So as humans, we have multiple bodies. I do know that we tend to be quite focused on the physical body because it is the immediate one that we see. That's the one we tend to be obsessed with. We keep it polished, we keep it smelling good, looking good. We're always checking ourselves out, which is fantastic. I'm all here for it. But it really provides a deeper experience here in your journey if you understand that you're more than just the physical body. So depending on which tradition you're from, some people believe that there's 7 layers to the body, some believe 8 or 9. Really, that's not the direction of my discussion today, but to really share that you've got the emotional body, you've got the auric body, which aka the aura, and that's the closest one to your physical body. You've got your physical body, you've got your mental body, you've got your ethereal body, you've got your astral body, you've got your celestial body. So the astral body is normally the one that you travel with when you dream, and when you have your astral travels or experiences. And then we've got your etheric body. So that's the soul's journey, right? And you are getting a sense of how complex you are by now. Hopefully you are getting a sense of the fact that no wonder you have so many questions. No wonder your experiences are so varied and complex. It's because you too are complex, right? And once you have that understanding that I'm more than just the physical body, and you start tapping into other layers, you understand that I'm actually a big deal. And that's where that level of a love affair with yourself, understanding and giving yourself enough time to understand and be self-aware of yourself and your intricacies and how unique your journey is in this time-space reality, it really does become a joy. So I thought it'd be good to break that down before we even start discussing how you protect your energy, how you protect your aura, and I hope that helps. So there's different things that affect your aura or your energy, right? You'll hear people saying, oh, you've got such a clean aura, or your aura is so heavy, or your aura is dark. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're evil, or anything to that effect. It just means that there's quite a number of blockages that you have in your physical body that need you to pay attention to, that need you to address or to start clearing, right? And it could stem from various areas. And also to that end, there's many ways, or rather you can read a person's aura, depending on how sensitive of a person you are, depending on your level of spirituality. Not level, it sounds like there's grades and hierarchy, and that's not my messaging there, but how in tune you are with your spiritual side. But also, even if you don't have any of those, you can actually learn auric reading. You can learn how to read an aura, right? It's not like it's reserved for special people, you know. But you can really tell at what level of vibration someone is operating in. It also has nothing to do with how loud you are or how much of an extrovert you are or introvert. You can be a high vibrational person even if you are an introvert, right? It all talks to energy really, as opposed to personality type. So that's that on energy and how to read it. And my point earlier was that there's different things that can affect your aura. It could be that you're holding on to stress. That tends to affect a lot of us and a lot of our auras. It could be that you're holding on to past trauma or emotions that are quite toxic. It could be that you are living in fear. It could be that you're living in anxiety. Or it could actually be that physically you're not doing well, right? Where some of these emotional issues start presenting themselves in physical ailments. So those are the different things that can really affect your aura. So before we even go to the main question, which is how do I protect my aura? How do I protect my energy? I need you to understand first, how do you clean your aura and how do you clean your energy before you even seal it or protect it? Because you don't want to protect something that's low vibrational, right? You want to protect it because you actually see it as valuable, you see it as clean, and you actually see it as the highest form that you can achieve at the moment. So there's different ways. Number one, and I think one of the simplest ways, is really to eat or to feed your body high vibrational foods. And that's talking to fruits, fresh fruits. It's talking to vegetables, seeds, nuts. It talks to drinking a lot of water. So really taking in life. Because everything that I've listed just now carries a high vibration because it is closest to nature. Nature is high vibrational. That's why when you go on a hike or you go outside, there's a shift, or you are in an area where there's a lot of clean air, or you are at the sea, there is a shift in your mood or how you feel. And that's because all of that is high vibrational. Nature is high vibrational, and high vibrational just means the best way I can explain it is closest to the creator, closest to God, closest to source, and closest to all that is pure. The second way that you can do it at a physical level is taking salt baths. So it could be your sea salt, which is one of the best. It could also be Epsom salt, which I particularly love, but make sure you get high quality salt, not just like table salt that you use when you cook, right? And I mean, you can do your research, but sea salt that's not iodized, you pour it in your bath water. You soak in it for about 30 to 40 minutes. And before you even think about putting your foam bath and all the nice fragranced things, just pure water and salt. Because it's now a spiritual bath. It's not just you cleaning up yourself physically. It's a spiritual bath. You tending to the different layers that we spoke to. So you sit in there, you soak. And what you'd often find, especially if you're very intentional about why you take in the bath, and you set the intention at the beginning and you say it with your words, let this water bring me healing of the mind, the body, the spirit. Let it bring me harmony of same, or whatever it is the intention you're wanting to take your spiritual bath with. you set it, outright, and you sit in there, you are going to have experiences, my darling. They may be crying. I do like to give that warning, especially if you're carrying quite a lot, especially if you are operating in an environment of high stress, or you just been through it, like you're just going through a lot. You will find that you tend to get emotional in that spiritual bath or in that salt bath. Another way that you can begin to cleanse your aura or elevate it is, I think, one of the most challenging ones, and that's an emotional detox. And there's many ways you can do that. You can do it by yourself, creating a safe space for yourself and sitting down with your journal and beginning to scribble what it is you're battling with. Or you could do it, with a professional, where either in the presence of a psychologist or a therapist, you begin to unpack, some of the issues that you've been sitting on, some of the issues that you've been suppressing, and you may not know word for word what you are going to say or what exactly it is you're struggling with. It may just be that you can feel that you're not operating optimally. And as you continue to, go through your talk therapy or journaling, or different other ways of expressing your emotions, then things start to come to the front that actually need your attention and that you pay attention to. Do me a favor and take this one at your own pace. And this is difficult because a lot of people, and sometimes myself included as well, unless I catch myself, we operate in a high-paced or fast-paced environment. We get so obsessed about, getting everything done now and instant gratification. And we almost scared to slow down. And that level of fear stems from, if I slow down, I may be labeled as lazy. If I slow down, I may not be able to reach my target. If I slow down, I may actually not be able to achieve X by the age of 30. Do you know what I mean? So all of that self-imposed pressure and stress really stops people from slowing down and going within and understanding, where am I? Why am I feeling this way? How am I feeling? And checking in with self. And if you delve in a little bit deeper, you'll find that it stems from insecurity. Insecurity of maybe competing with others, insecurity of needing validation from others, insecurity of not matching up to external standards. Do you know what I mean? And all of that causes you an immense amount of pressure, an immense amount of stress, and that translates in you just being so tense at an emotional level. And don't think it won't reflect in your aura. It will, and sometimes it also, reflects in your physical body as well. I do a lot of videos around when you see certain symptoms in your physical body, maybe you check in to see at an emotional level what your body is trying to tell you. And on the topic of slowing down, if you spend time with people that are at the end of life and you have a conversation with them, it's not normally that they'll say, oh, I'm so glad that I made my first million before I was 30. I'm so happy that I got to buy my German car at the age of 21. It's always leaning to, not always, but a lot of times it's around, I wish I had spent more time with the people that I love. I wished I had, attended my son's soccer matches. I wish I had done the things that actually make me happy. Do you know what I mean? And I appreciate that we have to stretch or spend our masculine energy. So we have to work, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this podcast, right? It's part of my masculine energy, the doing part, but it's coming from a creative space. It's coming from a feminine energy space. It's coming from a space where I'm in flow. Let me tell you that I set up this podcast almost a year ago. And only now I'm starting to record episodes because there was quite a lot of work that I needed to do at an emotional level. There were a lot of blockages that I needed to heal from and I needed to release from to get to a point where I can flow with ease. And once that was attended to, it was so easy to start this podcast. In fact, one of my followers on Instagram said, "Oh, I think you should do a podcast. It'd be really great." And I said, "You know what? I'll start today and I'll send you a copy." It was so easy for me to do that because now I'm in flow. Now I've cleared all that stagnant energy that I had been harboring. And it's not to say I'm all healed up, I don't have any more issues anymore, but it's just to say what I struggled with when I set this up initially, not being able to express myself and explain and articulate the ideas that I wanted to share with the world. That's shifted, you know. I've cleared those blockages and now I can come forth and actually speak. So I say this to say, actually lean into your emotional body, lean into the struggles that you have at an emotional level. Take as much time as you need. It will make your journey moving forward much lighter. Okay, now back to the initial question. How do I protect my energy? There's many ways that I do that. I protect my energy by keeping away, number one, from energy vampires. Energy vampires is not only people that drain you, it's also activities that drain you. It's certain foods that drain you. So when you eat something and you're slow, you are in the slow lane and you are present, you can feel your energy shift. Does this food energize me or does it suck my energy? Do you understand? So I to the extent that I can keep away from energy vampires by not accessing, or rather being accessible to absolutely anyone and everyone. I'm very selective about who has access to me and who has access to my energy, because I finally have a good understanding of the impact my energy has on people and what impact other people's energy has on me. I protect my energy by not taking on more than I can handle. And I know in this modern world, we have normalized and almost romanticized beast mode and doing all the things and just going above and beyond, which is great if it's coming from a place of creative energy, or it actually is fulfilling, but not just taking on more than you can handle, because what it does is that it depletes your energy. Then you have to spend more time trying to fill your cup, and it becomes a roller coaster, or rather a cycle where the more you're trying to replenish, you feel like you're falling behind. And by the time you've replenished, the stress begins all over again, right? I protect my energy and aura by asking for help. And there was a long time, for a long time, I couldn't actually ask for help. I was in superwoman mode, my darling. I was beast mode. I can do it all. But I came to a point where I realized, actually, no. Actually, maybe I ask for help instead of being the one that's always helping, right? So that's one of the ways that I make sure that my energy is protected. Another thing that I spoke about in episode 1 is filling up my cup. That's how I protect my energy and aura, and making sure that I'm not operating from a place of depletion. And when I do feel that I'm getting depleted, pausing and maybe stop oversharing and stop overspending my energy until a point where I feel like now I'm in overflow. Now everyone else can drink from my cup, you know. One of the other things I do is that I keep a very close circle. And I think it speaks to what I said earlier, that I'm not easily and readily accessible to everyone. Another method or technique is such a technical term, but another way that I protect my energy is by connecting to God, by connecting to spirit, and by connecting to my guides to understand, or rather to ask for protection. Before I step into my day, I spend time with spirit, I set my intentions, I ask for support, I ask for protection. So that's a big one for me. And then finally, I protect my aura and energy by being okay with not being liked. That's a big one. Being okay with not being liked is a big one, because all of a sudden you don't spend your energy trying to charm everybody, trying to please everybody. You stop being a doormat, and you understand and appreciate that actually maybe not everyone will like me, and that's quite all right. So that's what I do. That's what I do to lean into myself, to clean my aura and to protect my aura. And I hope that helped. And that's on self-love. Do make sure to follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, Maponya Live. I'm also now on YouTube, Maponya Live, and I look forward to co-creating this platform with you. Send me comments and questions of any topic that you would like me to cover in future episode. Sending you love and light. Mwah.